The future of work begins now. Please welcome Ivanti's Chief Executive Officer, Jeff Abbott.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Dallas. How's it been so far? I hope you've had some fun since you got here, hopefully. Excellent. Love the opening video. I think that conveys a lot of the sentiments we want to talk about this morning. We've been here since Monday, the Ivanti team, and got to see the eclipse in totality. It was quite a sight. I did learn the hard way, keep the glasses on. That was something I probably should have picked up a little younger, but oh my gosh, my retinas. Anyway, listen, welcome to the Ivanti Solution Summit 2024. Believe it or not, this is the first in-person Solution Summit Ivanti has had in 5 years. So it's great to see everyone in person. And look, a lot has changed since the last time we were all together. So we have a lot of catching up to do. Important things to talk about, solution updates to share with you, and new opportunities to explore. And we're going to do that and a lot more over the next 3 days. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment and personally thank all of you. I want to thank all of our sponsors, particularly our gold sponsors, T-Mobile and Zimperium. We can't do this without you. Thank you so much. But all of you are the reason we're here together this week. There's nothing we value more than our partnership. You are the reason we do what we do. We're committed to delivering solutions that reach or exceed your target business outcomes. And for Ivanti, that's how we measure success, your target outcomes. Let me also give a quick shout out, if I could, and thank our Ivanti community sponsors. Frank Willis from Axel IT BV. Thank you, Frank. Alistair Robertson from CTMS. Josh Parnell, Randstad North America. Mark McGinn from Markstar. And Julian Wigman from Markstar. Thank you all so much. Look, our community sponsors do a tremendous amount for us at Ivanti. We get millions and millions of questions on the support portal. And for those of you that aren't familiar, our support portal receives more than actually 5 million visitors and around 17,000 posted questions every year. That's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And thanks to our MVPs, nearly all of them do get answered. Our MVPs are responsible for 27% of all the activity on our forums, and they provide nearly half the community, what the community considers community best answers. So thanks again to our MVPs for your amazing contributions to our support community. Speaking of which, this is an incredibly valuable resource for everyone in this room should be taking advantage of. I mean, if you haven't explored the Ivanti support community, you can learn more about it over in the expo hall today. I encourage you to do so. And finally, thanks again to all of you for investing some of your valuable time with us here this week. And thank you for your honest feedback and engagement as we explore the future together. And most of all, thank you for partnering with us as we work to understand some of your toughest challenges. We're going to talk about those tough challenges today. This week's all about the future, more precisely the future of work. It's a big, complex topic with almost endless angles and nuances that we could explore. On one hand, the way we work has already undergone a huge transformation over the past 3 or 4 years, right? We all lived through it. It's created new issues for everyone in this room. So in one sense, the future of work is already here. You're immersed in it every day. But in another, bigger sense, I think we're on the edge of a bigger change. More and more automation. More focus on employee experience. Generative AI has come into the picture, and plenty we probably haven't even thought of yet. What I sort of observe is that whereas in the 90s and the 2000s and even into the 20-teens, we digitally transformed, the next era will be even more fluid and will require more speed and adaptability of all of us. I have 3 college-age kids, And when I think about what they've endured just educationally in the last 5 years, with learning how to deal with remote learning, with the introduction about a year and a half ago of generative AI, and them having to figure out what was inbounds and out of bounds, they've had to adapt and roll with it, right? In fact, let me just ask, do we have anyone in the audience who was here at the last in-person Ivanti conference we held? Very good, a few. Believe it or not, that was Ivanti Interchange in Nashville in 2019. And in 2019, I don't think any of us could have predicted what laid ahead just the next year. None of us were ready for the massive, disruptive change that was about to hit us. The pandemic. And the world, both personally and professionally, changed forever. Almost overnight. What was interesting to me is almost overnight, the entire planet changed about how it went about its daily lives. Just getting groceries, getting the kids to school, daily routines, and doing our jobs. It all changed. But relatively quickly, we adapted. We figured out how to support our customers and partners and employees in these unfamiliar settings. We went to completely remote environments in a matter of weeks. And this room was the room of professionals that helped make that happen at your various organizations. I think humans can be incredibly resilient when they're pressed and when they need to be. So this morning, we're going to explore the future of work from a few different perspectives. First, we'll take a closer look at the new era of what we call everywhere work, how it's impacting our organizations, and what it'll take to address the new challenges it's created. We like to lead with research. We think it's important that we get to know what's going on in your world. So we just released a research study today that focuses on how organizations approach everywhere work and what specifically you're dealing with. You're going to get a first-hand look at our findings. I'm really happy to say we're also going to broaden our lens a bit with a special guest speaker, Samantha Radakia, or Sam Rad, as she's known. Sam's an entrepreneur, author, and futurist. She's going to share more about the trends and technologies that are actively shaping the future of work and what they mean. She really provides a unique perspective, and of course, we'll talk about the crucial role we all play in defining and protecting the future of work. Because make no mistake, the future simply can't happen without the dedication and expertise in this room for your organizations. I think you're going to find it to be a fun, informative ride into the future. But before I proceed, let me acknowledge some challenges Ivanti's endured over the last few months. As many of you know, we've been fighting pervasive threat actors affecting Ivanti Connect Secure, Policy Secure, and ZTA gateways. Within a few weeks of discovering the problem, a patch was made available for all supported versions. During that time, I can assure you, we looked at everything through the lens of what was best for our customers. And believe me, I know this was disruptive. So if you were impacted, Ivanti thanks you for your patience, your collaboration throughout the process. As an industry, we're dealing with more and more pervasive threats. We and every organization need to stay vigilant. We came through this last issue with more resolve and determination, and we remain committed, more committed than ever, to provide you with the support and security you need. We keep customers and partners at the forefront of our minds through every step. And to that end, we're making strategic security enhancements backed by a meaningful investment. These investments are centered around hardening our security programs, policies, people, and culture. Bottom line, we are committed to a more contemporary secure by design framework, and we're partnering with some of the most recognized cybersecurity agencies in the world to achieve this globally and quickly. With that said, let's get back to the future of work. It's impossible to look at the future of work without considering the impact of everywhere work. In fact, how many of you are at companies requiring you to come back to the office full-time? I don't see many hands at all. That's consistent with the findings from the Ivanti report I just mentioned. In our report, 85% of business leaders we surveyed support flexible work environments. Only 15% of them still believe employees should be in the office full time. What's interesting, we've been doing this report for 3 years, and over 3 years, we've seen a significant upward trend in leadership support for remote, hybrid, and flexible work. So I know you're all very familiar with remote and hybrid models, and in fact, this room is full of IT and security professionals, again, that make it happen for your organizations. But I want to take a minute to talk more about this concept of flexible work. In a nutshell, flexible work focuses not just on where people work, but also on when and how they work. In other words, it gives people the freedom to adapt their hours and work styles to fit their lives and personalities. And rather than forcing into the same old Monday through Friday 9 to 5, those days are over. Flexible work allows for more. It's a big deal, and for a lot of different reasons. Today, again from the research, 80% of knowledge workers say that a flexible model is highly valuable to them. More than 40% say they would quit their jobs to gain more flexibility. And we all know the war for recruiting talent and maintaining talent is real. And in our business, you could nearly call it a crisis mode for retaining our teams. Our guest speaker, Sam Rad, told me her most creative thinking happens when she's far away from traditional office environments. And as an entrepreneur who's founded 4 different companies, she views the future of work with nearly limitless flexibility. Here at Ivanti, I can tell you flexible work is also at the center of our vision for everywhere work. We've fully embraced the notion of employee flexibility. It's had a transformative effect on our employees, our business, and quite frankly, our culture. And I really can't imagine a reason why we'd go back to in-office full-time. All of that said, this move to flexible everywhere work also really presents some big challenges. And these numbers help tell that story. By 2025, our world will include 75 billion devices connected somehow to a network, and 175 zettabytes of data. And Gartner predicts that 75% of enterprise-generated data will be created and processed outside traditional data center or cloud, kind of what we call the edge. So how do we manage to protect all that data? How do we manage to protect all those devices? How do we ensure the security of every employee's network access when most of them live outside traditional enterprise environments? These are tough questions. And they're questions that this room is responsible for answering for your various organizations. Everywhere work is also pushing the capacities of IT and security teams to the very limits. Again, according to our research, 55% of IT workers say help desk ticket volume is up compared to last year. And that increase can mainly be attributed to, again, remote or everywhere work. It's also important to note that this represents more than just a post-pandemic bump. We've seen consistent, steady increases in help desk ticket volume over the past 3 years. So it appears to be a persistent, steadily growing issue. And of course, this is already a difficult environment. Cybersecurity threats on the rise. Don't I know it? During the past 12 months, 35% of executives report that their data was targeted by an attack. And we all know, I don't think anybody would disagree, that number is going to grow. So these everywhere work challenges, the explosion of data and devices, increased workloads, escalation of threats, along with a shortage of talent and a risk of keeping your talent, have changed the game for all of us in this room and the industry. You have become the center of your organization's productivity and efficiency efforts. And you are now challenged not only to drive those efforts forward, but to deal with these massive headwinds at the same time. However, from our point of view, we see some organizational challenges we should talk about for a minute too. And that is that IT and security teams tend to operate in silos. How many of you would say that these groups, IT and security, have had a history of a close collaborative working relationship at your companies? In fact, our research shows the scope of the problem. Let me highlight a few of those numbers. More than half of those we surveyed said their data is moderately or highly siloed. 84% said those silos are having a negative impact on their organization's security. And 82% said silos are having a negative impact on productivity. So the bottom line is this: silos between IT and security are creating a big problem in the age of everywhere work, and that includes slower response times, lower productivity, and security risks. All of this while the goals and priorities of these teams have actually started to converge. And to properly address and overcome these challenges, IT and security have to come together. Can we agree on that? I think that is the way it has to be because of the heightened expectations of CIOs and CISOs and their teams. You're all now front and center with the executive suite. And the pressure to deliver falls on you like never before. So, what's the answer? If the needs and priorities of these organizations are converging, and they definitely are, how do we meet those combined needs? Well, we at Ivanti have been heavily involved in both of these worlds for a long time. With our expertise in both areas and the feedback customers like you have given us, we're in a good position to bring IT and security together. We're driving to bring the first purpose-built solution platform for IT and security for the CIO and the CISO to market. This goal is reflected in our company vision. We break down barriers between IT and security so that everywhere work can thrive. Well, how are we doing that? Well, let's first start with a quick reality check. When you look around the C-suite, there is clearly a pattern. CROs and their teams have Salesforce. Chief financial officers and their teams have SAP or Oracle. And even heads of HR or chief people officers and their teams have Workday. But CIOs and CISOs and their teams have had to pull a dozen or more disparate solutions together just to do their jobs. And all of that just to provide baseline services. I find that remarkable. For 40-plus years, you've been the pioneers of modern business, the unsung heroes of digital transformation. And you've done so without a professional platform to do your work. I mean, I don't mean to go all Rodney Dangerfield, but where's the respect? I know only half the room knows who Rodney Dangerfield is. I'm sorry. Look, Ivanti has spent years investing in and building out solutions for IT and security organizations. And now we've brought all those solutions together into the industry's first purpose-built platform just for IT and security. A platform that simplifies, unifies, automates IT and security processes. It's a platform that's extensible and works in harmony with your extended portfolio of solutions. We are not suggesting ripping and replacing what you've got. We want to put a center of gravity in place that minimizes complexity and automates security and IT. You're going to hear a lot more about this platform in the next 3 days. But let me give you a quick couple of highlights. First, and this is important, we understand your requirements and priorities. And we know they're constantly changing and evolving. And we've been delivering market-leading solutions to meet your target business outcomes for a lot of years. And we know that you need this to continue, and it will continue. Continually improving and delivering the best features and functions in each of our solution pillars, whatever you own. So instead of trying to create a one rigid end-to-end platform and never keeping up, we're focused on creating solution packages. And those packages that directly target your biggest challenges, packages that offer just what you need optionality with pricing and sizing flexibility. So this week, we're announcing some major advancements and improvements to the Ivanti platform itself. We think if we're going to deliver on this vision, quite frankly, the most qualified audience of professionals in the world I'm standing in front of, we had better deliver on what you consider to be a platform. So we're launching a new set of core services that will help you take advantage of your SaaS environment, accelerate your migration plans, and provide you centralized control over all of your Ivanti Cloud solutions. And this includes a new single logon experience and unified in-product navigation experience. And that will work across every Ivanti cloud product. We're also announcing new hyperautomation capabilities that provide healing and security, common reporting, business intelligence, and a lot more. And Ivanti is the only platform that offers this kind of intelligent, cloud-scaled hyperautomation layer. And we can't wait to show you how it can add value to your organization. Sri Mukamala, Ivanti Chief Product Officer, is going to cover all this and more in his keynote tomorrow morning. Please don't miss it. We're confident that this is the right approach for IT and security and bringing your teams together with a single platform to unlock the power of everywhere work. And in fact, you're going to hear from a couple of leaders on stage on this point in a little bit. We just believe you shouldn't have to piecemeal multiple products together to get a workable process and workable services in your organizations. We believe when you leverage a common unified tech stack to achieve shared goals and priorities, you can realize next-level business outcomes. In fact, only a platform with a unified, scalable approach can manage and protect 75 billion devices and 175 zettabytes of data that live outside protected corporate environments. It's also an ideal environment to manage the escalation of cybersecurity threats. And further, and I think this is important, for the first time, you and your teams will have a home base for building your competencies and skills, the Ivanti platform. And that helps you keep your talent for the long term. That's what this next generation of knowledge worker is looking for. Everywhere Work has put us all front and center. And you've been the drivers of digital transformation, the pioneers of migration to the cloud, and lately, the explorers of the power of generative AI. And the work you do, in my opinion, is finally getting the respect it deserves, all due respect to Mr. Dangerfield, including widespread leadership buy-in and support from your boards. And I think this gives us all a unique opportunity to shape the future of work. And at Ivanti, we're committed to providing you with a platform and a set of capabilities that keep your everywhere workers safe and productive. And we're really, really excited to show you. And after you explore the details with us this week, I think you'll be interested too.